of the attackers. Like the attackers can get some limited side informations from the crypto system, like the speed, the noise, etc. They can see some side informations inside the performance of inside the execution of the crypto system. But even worse, there is a white box attack. This is a very simple white box attack. We call it key whitening attack. We say like AES has a public S box, so the attackers can find where the S box is stored and then use the hex editor to zero the whole lookup tables to make it whole zeros. And then when they run the AES, okay, the value X, when X input into S box, the last step of AES is X input into S box, and the output will XOR with the key. And then the output is the ciphertext. That's the normal performance of normal operations, last operations of AES. But if AES box already zeroed, and when X input 0, we get 0, and 0 XOR with key, we got output is the key. So this is a very simple white box attack. We can see here that the white box attackers have a very powerful attack abilities. So we conclude the white box attack context like the adversary can trace every program instructions of the implementation, can view the content of memory and cache, including secret data, stop execution at any point, and run an offline process and alter code or memory content, and will just all the internal implementation of the crypto system will be observed and will be fully controlled by the attacker. So that's why we call it white box attack. So this is a picture for white box attack. Attackers have full control over the execution platform, and also the white box attackers have the ability as black box attack and gray box attack. We say, what is white box cryptography? White box cryptography protects cryptographic secrets against an attacker with full access to the implementation. But for a white box,
sorry, we still see the same picture like the white box attack.
How about right now?
No, still see the same picture.
Weird.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So the attacker has a full control on everything in the white box.
Yeah, right. So the attacker can observe, can insert, can alert, can change the data, etc. He can do many things than normal attacker. So can you see this page?
Yes. What is white box cryptography?
Yeah. So in white box implementation of a known cipher, we say the input and output of the white box implementation should be the same as the standard crypto operation. But the protected cryptographic secrets are not visible to an attacker, which means we need to keep the functionality of the implementation. We cannot change the functionality. For example, for AES, Whitebox AES, the input of the output of the Whitebox AES implementation should be the same with the original AES. Where is Whitebox cryptography used? Actually, there are a lot of scenarios can use Whitebox cryptography. The classic scenario is
So it's the same problem. We cannot also see the slide. So I think, yes,
Wow.
now we can see it, yes.
Oh, maybe there is some delay of the page update. Yeah. So the classic scenario of Whitebox cryptography is the digital rights management. So like we can use Whitebox cryptography to protect the internet distribution of ebooks, music, and video against insiders. For example, if I buy music, I can play that. I send my ID to the sender, and he will use my ID to generate a key and encrypt that music, and send that music back to me. And I can use my ID to decrypt that and play the music. But even I'm the legitimate user, I cannot got the real key to decrypt the music. I cannot use my ID and observe the execution of the device, how to decrypt the music and recover the real key. I cannot do that with Whitebox implementation. And the potentially application is that we can use Whitebox cryptography to protect software against insiders like malware, system intruders, etc. And even more, we can use Whitebox cryptography to converting a secret key encryption into a public key encryption. So this is a very interesting part, because normally we know that the secret key encryption is much more efficient than public key encryption, right? But now we can use this Whitebox implementation to convert more performance, more efficient encryption into the public key encryption. That's a very interesting topic. So next, I will introduce the basic idea of the design, especially for block cipher and
please
fix.
Update the slide.
About this one.
Yes, basic idea of design.
Yeah. So I will introduce the basic idea of design. How about like this one? I just use this page.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Especially, I will introduce the block cipher and the fixed key version, because this Whitebox implementation started from block cipher and fixed key, and it's very popular so far. It's also very popular so far. Let's say this is a round of a block cipher. I use the idea of the first paper of Whitebox AES. It is Chou's paper. And also I want to say that this one, Chou, this guy, one of the all of the authors are from IDETO, from this company. So IDETO is the first one to propose the idea of Whitebox implementation. So we say this is a round of a block cipher, and this is input and output. first of all, we will reorganize the cipher into a number of steps. You can try any way to reorganize it, reorder the steps, just divide it, etc. You can use any of ways to do that, but you need to keep in mind that you need maintain the functionality of the original block cipher. And then we need to do a very important step is to fix the key, the secret key, and insert it into the S box. Why we need to, why in the popular way is to fix the key and embed it into the S box, is that because S box is the nonlinear part, of a block cipher. That's the only nonlinear part in the block cipher. So it's you can choose to fix the key in insert key or embedded key in other step, but normally the safe way is embedded it into the S box, like this step. And that's not enough if you just embedded the key into the S box, because S box is public. And if you just embedded a key, it's obvious. It is very obvious. You can recover it anyway. So we need to use some other things to protect this S box, this keyed S box. So we insert randomly choosing mixed bijection into every step, like the F and G. We use that to protect this S box. But as I said before, we need to keep the functionality equivalent with the original cipher. So we need to use the networked encodings to protect the S box, the new S box. Networked encodings means the encoding of the output of previous steps should be canceled out with the adjacent input encodings. Like the G should be the inverse of the should be canceled out. When we combine them together, G and the G inverse should be canceled out. And in order to, we cannot just make this box as a whole, as a huge lookup tables, because we need to consider the size of the lookup tables, especially when we do the software implementation. We need to make the lookup tables as small as possible. So normally we will transform each step into several lookup tables, several small lookup tables. And then you can use any, when you try to transform every step into several lookup tables, you can choose many ways to do that. Also, you can use other technology, you can use other techniques, like you can add masks, you can use entanglement to those lookup tables, etc. It depends. So after that, the cryptographic algorithm will be implemented with a connection of randomized lookup tables. So when we finish the design and implementation, the attackers can only see a collection of lookup tables. So ideally, our design purpose is that all of the lookup tables will look random. the attacker cannot know where is the key, where is the secret key, where we hide which lookup table has the key inside embedded in. By just analysis all of the lookup tables, that's our purpose. So yeah, so this is the basic idea of the design. Next, let me just introduce a example of white box AES. So let's say this is one round of AES. We say we all know that AES has 4 components: subbytes, shift rows, mixed columns, and the round key. So first of all, like I said before, we just reorganize those components. We can like reorder those components. Even in one round, if you just reorder one round, that will not be equivalent with AES. But when you look at the all the 10 rounds, you will see they are equivalent. So we reorder it first. This is a shift rows, and key, subbytes, mixed columns. We reorder it first, and then we combine several steps into one box, into one, I should not say one box, into one step, like and round key, S box, mixed columns. Those 3 steps will combine into one step, and they use 8-bit linear encodings to protect it, and then 4-bit linear encodings as the external encodings. And also use 32-bit mixed bijections to obfuscate the output after the output of the mixed columns, and also use 4-bit linear encodings to protect that. And this will be one step. And in order to cancel out those encodings, we can say those like obfuscations, we need another steps. Those are we call MB transforms. These are 4-bit linear encoding, MB inverse, and the 8-bit linear encodings. That's for the next step. Will be canceled out with the next step, and the 4-bit linear encodings. And of course, if we just make this one as one lookup table, that will be very huge. Will be 2 to 32 times 32. So we need to like divide it into several pieces. So divide it into like 4 pieces. So each piece will be created as a lookup table that will be 8 to 32-bit lookup table. And we need to use, and then we need to XOR the output of the 4 32 bits. Then we need to use extra XOR to do that. But of course, those XOR also need to obfuscate. You also need to and obfuscation, need to use the encodings to protect it. They are also created as lookup tables. This is for the T transform, and then for the MB transform, we use the same way to do that, divide it into several pieces and use the XOR tables to finish the XOR step. And then the AES will be implemented with those lookup tables. Okay, so this is for white box AES. And next, I will introduce the white box ISM4, which I designed in 2019, and it also implemented. First, I introduce the SBox, the SM4. SM4 is a Chinese commercial standard block cipher. The block size is 128 bit, and the key size is 128 bit. It uses unbalanced Festo network, and there are 32 rounds. SM4 is a little bit similar with AES, but there's still some difference. First of all, the 128 bits input will be divided into 4 words. X1, 2, 3, there are 4 words. And the first, the most right 3 words will XOR with the round key. And after XOR with round key, we get the 32 bits. And 32 bits will be input into SBox and a linear transformation. And then the 32 bits, the word, will XOR with the most left word. And then get the 32 bit, the word X4, and XI plus X4, I should say X4. And this will be the output. This is the only output for one round. And for the next round, we just move the most right 3 words into left without any operation. Just move them to the left, and then we do the next round. And there will be 32 rounds for this cipher. And if we just rewrite it, it will be like this. 3 words XOR with key and input into SBox and the linear transformation and XOR with this word. I will explain here because in SM4, this is the SM4's SBox. There is only one SBox in SBox, but in SM4, but we use 4 SBox in parallel. So the linear transformation can be viewed as a 32 by 32 matrix. So we just divide it into a block matrix for our use for the usage of the white box design. Okay, so and we say it's different from AES. The algebraic structure of SBox of SM4 is not public, but we did some research and we explore the algebraic structure for that. This function, we can use this function to generate the right SBox of SM4, where A1 is a 8 by 8 matrix and the C1 is a vector. This is A1, C1, and this is A2, C2, and the underlying incredible polynomial is this one. And why I introduce the algebraic structure, because in my design, I will use this structure. I will divide the SBox into 2 parts based on this structure. Okay, so from the high level view, I should say I divided the SM4 into 3 parts. The XOR into the XOR of the input is the first part. The key embedded the key into part of SBox is the second part. And the remaining part of SBox and the linear transformation will be combined together as the third part. And this is this level divide, and I will also do this level divide. with this level. I will divide it with this level. And then I will generate the lookup tables. So for the first step, I will use the masks to obfuscate the lookup tables. For example, here F1, F2, F3 are the masks. And I use many additional lookup tables to cancel out the previous masks and add new masks to finish the first step, which is XOR of the most right 3 words. Those are the same step. And for the second part, and embedded the key into part of SBox, I will generate the lookup tables and this one. This is the key added into the SBox. And I use the composite field transformation as well as threshold implementation to obfuscate the internal values and also generate an extended output, which will make the input and output is different with the key and the SBox. And my expectation is that the attacker cannot get any information of the key from this transformed SBox. And then for the last step, is some of the remaining part of SBox and the linear transformation. I use those lookup tables to finish that. It's a little bit complicated, so I will not explain too much about that. Yeah. So this is the first round, and for the remaining round, like especially for round 2 and round 2, 3, 4. All the steps are the same, except that we need to use additional lookup tables to cancel out the masks of the input. Because, for example, in first round, the output of first round will be X4, but it is a mask value. I use a bar to denote the masks value. So we need additional steps, lookup tables, to cancel out the masks in this value. And also for the third round and the fourth round, there are also some input. There are some input are also masked. So we need to additional lookup tables to cancel them out. And the second difference is that we need to use different round key to construct the middle T box. It's a transformed S box. And all the following 28 round are the same. And for the last step, because we generate the ciphertext with masks, so the ciphertext are masked cipher. It's not the real cipher as the standard SM4. So we need additional lookup tables to cancel out the mask, and then we get the smooth SM4 cipher text. And we implement the YBox SM4 with C++. The first step is fix the key, and then we generate the lookup tables, and then we just use the lookup tables to do encryption or decryption. And as I said before, we can see from the design of YBox implementation, we add many additional steps in the algorithm, or we add masks, obfuscations, encodings, etc. We add so many things in the masks in order to obfuscate the algorithm to make it harder to analysis. So the performance will be a little bit slow than the smooth SM4. So for this white box SM4, this design, it's a little bit, it's somehow like one of three of the performance of smooth SM4. So, and also this is just for this design. Different design will have different performance, because we use different way to divide, to combine them, to reorganize them, to mask them, to obfuscate them, etc. That depends on the design. So yeah, so that's it for my talk. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Thank you,
Thank you so
everyone.
much. Thank you so much, Tintin, for this interesting
Well,
presentation.
yeah. I'm not sure if I make any mistakes, because
Oh,
sometimes
no, it was,
I want to say something, but maybe because of nervous, I say different thing.
yeah, like industry guys is like that. But like I enjoyed very much, and I think most of the attendants like enjoyed the talk. Especially, I'm working in cryptography, so it's very interesting presentation for me, and I think most of the guests here enjoyed. So, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions, guys? I personally have some questions.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions first, guys? If you wanna go first. Okay. So, my first question is that, so you are working in white box design and implementation of Chinese ciphers.
Yeah.
So, my question: Why do we need like Chinese ciphers or designs and implementations for Chinese ciphers specifically? So can these designs and implementations work for anything in general, or it's just for Chinese ciphers?
Okay. So I understand this. These are two questions. First question: why we design the white box implementation of Chinese cipher? Because because IDETO want to get the market of want to get the Chinese market, and in China, the Chinese cipher like SM4 is a commercial standard. All the government, it is I should say, there is someone said it is possible that the government will ask every commercial cryptography product sold in Chinese market should be Chinese cipher. That's the first answer for your question. And the second one is this design, the white box SM4 design, is this one is for SM4, but this method can also apply to similar structure of block cipher like AES. And if you want to apply this method onto IDEA, like IDEA, I don't think that works because IDEA has different framework.
Okay, great. So my second question, like, so based on your industry experience, do you see like lots of real business cases that use the white box cryptography because it's relatively new?
What? Wait, what's your question?
Yeah, so based on your industry experience, do you see lots of real business cases that use white box cryptography?
Oh, yes, a lot. I should say a lot. But, like Philips, Google, and in China, like I know many, like Huawei, Tencent, they use white box implementations to, it's not a pure white box product. They use the white box implementations as part of their product. And they would not say, just public that. They just keep that in their, as their commercial secret, I think. Because I know some of the Huawei and Tencent people, they are working on white box implementation design.
Okay, yeah, great. Yeah, this will lead me to my last question. So you finished your PhD in white box cryptography.
Yeah.
I'm asking this question like for some of our students, if they would like to work in white box cryptography. So is there enough literature like research papers, technical reports published online for white box cryptography, or it's still inside the company research centers? So did you find like enough literature references?
I know that IDETO, of course, IDETO is the first choice for the white box implementation, and also for the I mean for the I should divide it into two parts. One is for the company, right? Company like IDETO, and I know Google has such requirement of white box implementation, and I believe they already have a group for white box design, for white box research, and in USA and in French, they have some companies, but I forget the name. You can search white box cryptography or white box companies by Google and got the information from that. And for the academy organizations, I know like in Americans, Arizona State University. Am I right? I'm not sure if I pronounce it correct. And in USA and in Shanghai Jiaotong University, they all have the team to do the white box research.
Yeah, great. But like for like our researchers, can they find these resources easily online? Can they find research papers, technical reports online?
Yeah, you can Google, you can use Google or Google Scholar, or
Okay.
in cryptography there is a website like IRC. I forget it.
IACR.
IACR then .org.com. You can
Yeah.
use that to search white box. You can got some papers on that, and also like meet like a conference like CHES is a very popular conference to public white box papers, and also SAC. SAC is selected area cryptography, I believe. And Europe crypto and Asian crypto, and yeah, I think those top cryptography conference has such papers of white box cryptography. But I should say so far, because white box attackers has a powerful ability to analysis. So it's different from the traditional cryptography. We can use limited tools or method to observe to or organize or analysis. And in white box context, the attacker has a lot of power, ability to do the analysis, to do the attack. So it's very, very hard to got or to prove that your design, your scheme is secure enough against the white box attack. So far, I would say no white box implementation can say secure enough. No one can say that. almost all the white box implementations, public implementations, are attacked. Yeah. And we also have some like new areas of white box cryptography. Like I know some people start, I mean, a kind of academic area, not in a company. In academic area, some people start to research white box implementation of elliptic curve signature, white box implementation of SHA-3, etc., hash function, etc., or MAC. And some people are doing such research in different crypto areas. But how to say that? Because there is no how to say a standard to evaluate the white box security. Security is different from the traditional cryptography. We can use math, the hard problem, right? The difficult problem in math. We can conclude the security into a math problem. In white box cryptography, it's hard to do that. So far there is in white box in research area, we still lack of the theoretical basement, I should say.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Like any questions, guys? Any questions? Yes, please go ahead, Ed.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting. I can see, of course, how these approaches protect the key material from being extracted from an implementation. I'm curious how one would guard against the lifting of the entire cryptographic implementation out of the software. You understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, the code lifting attack, right? Actually, this is also a very this is a good question for white box implementation, because we cannot make up this attack by pure white box implementation. So normally we will add additional external encodings to protect the whole white box implementation. Like for example, this is a white box implementation component, right? We will use additional encoding to protect the input, and another external encoding to protect the output. And that encoding, that match inverse encoding of the input encoding will be stored in other device in your computer, and the same as the output external encoding. And yeah, that will prevent the code lifting attack.
Right. So in practical terms, then you're saying some of that would be stored, for instance, in TPM protected areas, or
yeah, right.
Okay.
And also, in 2017, there is another paper called Space Hard in white box implementation. They use a way to prevent the code lifting attack. The way is very funny. They just make the lookup tables very huge. And they say that the huge size of the lookup tables can prevent the attackers to code lifting in a very limited limited internet how to say the widens limited yeah, right.
Bandwidth.
Yeah, bandwidth. Yeah, right.
Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, Ed, for this question. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Okay. So thank you so much, Tingting, for this very interesting talk. We really appreciate your time and sharing your experience about white box cryptography. Thanks, everyone, and see you in the next InfoSec seminar on November 4th, 2021. So have a good day, everyone.
Just one thing, Aslam, before we go here, I just wanted to say that our November 4th speaker is going to be Rasha Nasra from the Canadian Cybersecurity Center. And we'll be posting in social media and on the website what her topic is going to be. And then in December, on December 9th, we have two alumni speakers from Concordia who are currently working for the Office of Information and Privacy here in Alberta. And they're going to be coming to speak for us. We have some really great speakers lined up for the rest of the year. And we hope to see everybody coming back.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean. Thank you,
Have a great
Tintin.
day.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Hang on for a second, Aslam.
Yes. I'm just stop recording.